So, I've been thinking, and I've noticed a lot of people have said some pretty rude things about the men and women who participated in the Women's March this weekend, last weekend, whatever. It comes to my attention that people aren't educated on why everyone gathered in Washington, D.C., all across the United States, all over the world. And that is because all of those people who attended those events have one common goal, and it's for equality. And it astounds me that people do not see the oppression that's going on in this world right now. Like with the Brock Turner case, he got 6 months for raping a girl. 6 months. If that was a black male, it would have been a lot longer sentence than just 6 months, a slap on the wrist. If you are not a white, straight, cisgender male, then you are ridiculed. There is some sort of inequality going on. And if you are a woman and you see absolutely no inequality, you should be pretty thankful. Because there are a lot of people in this world who face, different pay than men, get treated differently than men. I mean, even in public, women have to be on guard because they feel like they may be attacked. And that is not equality. That is not a form of justice. In fact, that's injustice. And for people to say that they don't see that, that's a problem. And that is why 3 million people gathered together to make a stand, to get their voice out there. You guys are saying how, they trash, making those memes about, trashing the bus and whatnot. The inauguration and the march are 2 different events that happened. The inauguration consisted of people, trashing things, burning things. That did not happen at the Women's March. In fact, there were 0 arrests. 0 arrests at those marches. That says something. That says a lot, actually. 3 million people participated in that, and there were 0 arrests. Now tell me how that is bad. Or why all of you seem to think that this was some sort of joke. Because that's what you guys are making this out to be, as a joke. And this is not no laughing matter. Women's rights are at stake. LGBT rights are at stake. Muslim rights are at stake. Reproductive rights are at stake. So many things are at stake right now, and people are so narrow-minded they don't even see. And that's what bothers me. And that's what bothers so many others. That's what bothers 3 million other people's. And that's why they took a stand. I saw a post on Facebook how women have equal pay. And that is false. That is a false statement. That is a false claim. If you look up on Google, women make less than a male. It is a statistic from 2015. It is a proven statistic. If you do get equal pay in an area where you work, be thankful. Because in some places, women don't get that right. And just because you haven't experienced a situation or, whatever, that doesn't mean that somebody else hasn't. And it's the same thing, like, if we place ourselves right now in, like, the Middle East, they have less rights than we do here. And you're basically contradicting what they're going through in the Middle East. Because you're saying that just because you don't experience a particular situation, basically you are just invalidating their rights there. And that's not okay with me. I don't understand how people are not getting into their head about what's going on right now. You know, I've come to the conclusion that yes, Trump is my president. That does not mean that I have to be okay with that. I have to accept that he is my president, but I do not have to agree with what he's saying or what he's doing. I have my right to disagree, and I have my right to voice my opinion and to do something about that to make the change. And people saying how this big protest isn't gonna solve anything. Well, let me tell you, if you've ever been in a history class, you have learned about Rosa Parks, you have learned about Susan B. Anthony, you have learned about Harriet Tubman, you have learned about Elizabeth Stratton. You know, all of those women took a stand for what they believe in. You know, we've got Frederick Douglass, Dred Scott. Those two men, they wanted equality for African Americans, and they went out and did something about it. They didn't sit back, you know, and say, well, you know, I'm not going to get my rights, I'm not going to do anything about it. Sitting back does absolutely nothing. If you want something, you've got to get up and do something about it. You don't just sit back and let the government say that you don't have a say. I don't know, like, it astounds me of the ignorance that's going on in this world. It astounds me the hatred, the fascism, the bigotry. And I never in my life would have thought that I would be living through a civil rights movement. Never in my life did I think that I would ever be a part of that. I mean, I am so glad that I was able to be a part of that and to take a stand for what I believe in. But it makes me deeply sorrowful that we are going back to old ways. And that's a problem. That's not something that we should be proud of. And for people to be blinded by what's going on right now, saying how, oh, it's stupid, or, you know, and then it's pathetic, or I don't understand why they're, you know, doing what they're doing. Educate yourselves. Take the stand. Learn something new. Research something. If you don't understand it, ask questions. The only dumb question is the question not asked. I wish that things were different. I wish that people could be accepted for who they are. I wish people could, you know, be happy. I wish, you know, but people are too caught up in other people's lives. What does a woman's right to an abortion have anything to do with anyone else? Tell me. You know? And how does someone loving someone of the same sex, gender, whatever, have anything to do with you? How does someone wanting to be someone as who they are affect you? If that affects you, then you have a problem. You are the problem in society. Nobody else is. If you are so infatuated with somebody else's life that you have to like nitpick at everything that they do, you need to seek the help. Because they are doing absolutely nothing wrong. You analyzing their every move, their lifestyle, anything like that, that's concerning. And that should be a red flag to anyone. And, like, I'm concerned about education. You know, we have one of the people in charge of the education now in the cabinet of Trump, you know. She knows absolutely nothing about public schools. And, like, that's concerning to students in public schools. And if it's not, like, you gotta educate yourselves once again. You know, it's concerning to teachers. And for some teachers, it's not. And that's a scary thing. This woman, her name's Devoy, her last name is, and she knew nothing about the Disability Act that allows students with disabilities to have a lower standard to allow them to excel in school. Because if they don't, their mental isn't the same as a normal person. And they need that leeway to get them to succeed. Devoy knew absolutely nothing about that. Yet we have this woman in charge of this who didn't know about that. And that's scary. She's all for charter schools. She's never once had anything to do with public schools. And, you know, thank God that I'm graduating this year. But how is my child going to go to school? Are they gonna be forced to wear, you know, specific clothing? Are they gonna be forced to have a Bible in their hand? You know, we have this thing called separation of church. And I feel like we're going right back to that. I mean, Trump even quoted things from the Bible. You know, I am all for religious freedom. Please do not take that I am, you know, against it, because I'm absolutely not. I mean, I practice my own beliefs. But to force them upon someone else is not okay either. There needs to be a limit, and it should not be in government. I mean, she's all for charter schools, like I said. Meaning religious schools. You know, she's all for putting this money into these religious schools, these Christian schools. But she doesn't want to give any money to the public schools who really need that. You know, as bad of an experience I've had at my high school, I have been blessed with amazing teachers. And those teachers have shaped who I am. Without them, like, I would not be the person that I am today. And teachers are a huge part of a child's life. They're a mentor. You know, kids look up to them. They're role models. And if we don't supply these students with great materials to succeed, how are these kids going to succeed? I mean, this should be concerning to people, to parents, to students, to teachers. And for it not to be to some, I don't get it. And I try to stay out of the political stuff. I mean, I really do. I mean, I try not to put my opinion out